Welcome back to another Iron Faith Wrestling Instructional. Today we're gonna be going over foot sweeps, so let's get right into it. First thing we're gonna do is go over the fundamentals of a foot sweep. One thing that's very important with foot sweep is timing, and I'm gonna show you a couple different drills to help get the timing down. These drills come from judo. I have a judo background, and that's why I'm pretty good with my foot sweeps. The first drill is to help with a sweep called DEASHI HARAI, all right? So I'm just gonna start with a collar tie and a wrist, and we're both gonna be standing more upright. We're gonna match legs, so step your right leg forward, yep, or I guess not match legs, we're gonna be opposite. Now when I step into him, he's gonna step back. So I'm gonna step my left leg forward, he's gonna step his right leg back, just like that. Back and forth. And the reason why we do this is because we wanna sweep the foot on transition. So we want to sweep the foot when it's light. So we do a drill where we practice getting the person to step, all right? Now, when I go to sweep the foot, I'm going to swing my leg faster than he steps back. So right now, we're going the same speed. Now, when I go to sweep, I'm going to come faster. So I'm going to sweep my leg faster as he's rolling his foot off the mat. So as he's doing that, my foot's coming across and sweeping around the ankle. Now, when I sweep, wrestling doesn't matter too much because you have wrestling shoes on. But if you're in jiu-jitsu or you don't have your wrestling shoes on, you want to sweep with your bottom of your foot. I swept, so I wrestled back in college and I did a lot of foot sweeps. I went to a judo gym in Philadelphia and didn't have shoes on, went for a foot sweep with my foot like this, so not the bottom of my foot, and I tore a bunch of tendons in my toe. So when we foot sweep, we want to sweep with the bottom of my foot on his shoe or ankle. My leg is straight, just like that. Almost like you're passing a soccer ball, but you're passing it with the bottom of your foot. So I'm gonna show you guys this drill again. So you can just grab a partner, you step together like this, we go back and forth, and then when I go to sweep, I'm just gonna bring my foot faster, okay? Now you guys can go back and forth with this. So step your right leg forward. So I can sweep, and then if he wants to do it, he could step forwards here, right? He gets the timing. Now he's gonna come through and sweep when I step back. So it's a little drill you guys can work on your timing with. So we go back and forth here, then when I want to sweep, I just swing faster through. I'm just catching that foot. That helps with the timing of our DEASHI HARAI foot sweep. Now another timing drill that we would do in judo is essentially shuffling. So we would start at one side of the mat. We would shuffle this way, and I would try to sweep his feet together as he's shuffling. So if I'm here, we would be shuffling this way, shuffle, 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 and then I would sweep. I would catch his foot on the shuffle. So I'm gonna demonstrate this a couple times. I'm here, I'm a little bit behind him, all right? Pull this way, we shuffle, 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 boom. So I'm catching that foot and almost knocking the foot into the other ankle as we shuffle. Show you guys that again, a couple different angles of this one. So I'm here, I get a little bit behind him, we shuffle, shuffle, boom. I'm kicking that foot as he's shuffling off of it. Let's go over this angle, show you guys this side. So I'm gonna get behind him a little bit, we start shuffling together, shuffle, shuffle, boom. And I'm kicking his foot as he's shuffling it into the other foot, okay? There's another drill that you can work for timing a foot sweep. So you got kind of stepping together almost like you're dancing, and then doing a foot sweep there. And you've got that shuffle drill where you're trying to shuffle together, and then one of the shuffles, instead of you shuffling your feet together, you're swinging your foot through straight like a foot sweep, okay? So those are two little drills you can do. Some other stuff with foot sweeps. Normally in a foot sweep, you want to sweep as they're stepping their weight off of it, okay? So I was kind of explaining this earlier, but as I'm wrestling here, right? So I'm moving them. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for his foot to start kind of stepping backwards and stepping off the mat, and that's where I'm sweeping. So that drill that we did, the first drill we did, or even the second drill, as I'm wrestling, if I have a good awareness of foot sweeps, I'm getting him moving, pushing him around a little bit. Then when I see, boom, right there, when I see him stepping off his foot, I can come for a foot sweep, okay? So that first drill really gave me a good understanding of when to sweep them. I'm sweeping them as they step off. So I'm getting them to step around. This foot's about to come off, boom, I know to sweep then. Stepping around, sweep then. So as they're kind of rolling onto their heel and stepping, especially backwards a lot of times, I would catch that foot sweep. Another fundamental of foot sweeps that I like staying upright. So I like standing up tall when I sweep. I don't like sweeping all bent over because the balance of the technique is hard to get. When I foot sweep, what I do, I'm showing you guys the bottom portion, but what I do with the top portion is I put all the weight where I sweep. So if I have grips and a collar tie and a wrist, and I sweep this foot out, what I'm gonna do is put all the weight on where the foot used to be. So I take the foot out and I pull down on the wrist, down on the collar tie. A lot of people think of it like a steering wheel motion. I'm pulling him down and putting all the weight on the foot that I just took away. Now going back to the comment I made earlier, I like to be upright because to do that technique, you need balance yourself. And it's much easier to hit the technique like this than trying to bend over like this. It's hard to get your foot to sweep all the way through when you do that. When you bend over, your hip loses range of motion, okay? So a lot of times when I'm sweeping, even if I'm in my stance, when I go through for the foot sweep, I stand up. So I bring my whole body through. I stand up, I swing my leg through, and I pull over top of the leg I just took away. So those are some key details. So we can do the two drills, right? The step back and forth drill and the shuffle drill to get some of our timing down. I'm foot sweeping on transition, and I want to be upright when I foot sweep, okay? And I want to sweep at the bottom of my foot. So those are some key details. Now we're going to go over some specific techniques. Maybe you guys can pick or choose which ones that are going to work for your style. The first techniques we're going to go over is this outside foot sweep. So sweeping my leg from the outside here or here, okay? One that you've been seeing very common is a slide by to a foot sweep. So doesn't really matter what slide by you use. I'm going to use an over drape. So I drape over, opposite hand has a collar tie. And the reason why it works so well is because you hit it on transition. So I build pressure up, he pushes back, big step in, my head and chest come back, I slide by. Now as he goes to shuffle this way, that foot comes off the mat. So I just got to time that shuffle. So I just slid him by. As it comes up, I'm sweeping that foot into that ankle, and then I'm pulling with the collar tie over the side I just swept. So I'm here, I go over drape, collar tie, I build some pressure up, big step in, head and chest go back, I slide by. Now as he starts circling, I'm catching and putting him down. You can wait a couple sweeps. You're just looking for the timing of this. As the foot comes up, I'm taking that foot away. So as he circles to face me, circle, he might circle twice, that foot starts coming off the mat, I'm sweeping it through, okay? Show it a couple more times. Big step, slide by, and bring it back that way, okay? Obviously cover on top to get the takedown. Let's show a different angle here. So I'm here, I build up pressure, step, slide by, and even if I'm here, he starts facing, sweep there, and I'm pushing the collar tie over top of the leg I just swept. Show you one more time. So let's move this way a little bit. I build some pressure up, I step, I slide by, I catch. Oop, missed it on that one. One more time, build some pressure up, slide by, catch, and push down that angle. Now, this next one we're going to do is actually my favorite one. I would a lot of times get into an underhook. That was my favorite tie-up. And my opponent would put their forehead on the same side of the underhook. Very good defense here. So what I would do is I would take my forearm, I would place it on the side of his neck, and I would lock my hands together. Okay, I like to do a gable grip. Elbow down, lock my hands together. Now from here, I start setting up my head pinch. My head pinch is when I turn hip to hip and I throw him over top of me in that direction. But most of the time when I went for this, my opponent would wing down and he would start leaning a lot of weight on this foot. But because I was lifting him up with the underhook, there was actually no weight on this foot. So lift that foot off the mat, but lean. It was like this scenario would happen. It would be like a lot of weight, keep that foot up, a lot of weight, but the foot doesn't have the weight on it. The weight's on me. I'm bearing his weight, so I can sweep him with little resistance. If he had all the weight on his foot, this wouldn't be able to be swept. So I'm here, I'm trying to throw him, but I end up in this situation here. I might get him to step a little bit so I get the timing, and then I catch. Once I catch that foot, all the pressure from the upper body goes down towards the foot I just swept. So post, club, underhook. He's got good head positioning. I jack up and lock my grips together, try to get my right elbow down. All right, I start lifting up here. I start going hip to hip. And then look, this foot just comes through, catches, and then I push him down the opposite way. Show you guys this one again. We'll go this angle. Post, club, underhook. I lock. I start trying to throw him with the head pinch. All right? My foot comes through, catches his foot, and I push down the opposite way. That was probably one of my best techniques when I wrestled in college. Next foot sweep is just from the collar tie in the wrist, just like the drill we did in the beginning of the video. If I have a collar tie here and a wrist, and I'm moving my partner around here, if I see him roll off of that foot and step up a little bit, I can just come right through with the foot sweep, and I pull down with the wrist and push over with that collar tie. So I'm here, I'm moving him around a little bit, I'm pulling. And then as I go to push into him, I know he's gonna step that foot back, so I come up and in like that. So I gotta find that timing. So I'm moving him around, I'm trying to find some consistency in the way he's moving. So if I know I'm moving him and every time I push into him, he does this. Okay, every time I push into him, he rolls off that foot. Okay, I identify that. All right, now I'm gonna use that against him. So I'm pulling him around here, I'm pushing. Okay, I'm pulling. So I'll see that, I'll see what, maybe I get him to step with his other foot too. You can go either direction with it. You know, if I get him stepping with that foot, if I know that foot's forward, I can push in and catch that one too. Okay? So these foot sweeps, again, they're about timing. And they're about seeing consistencies in your partner and capitalizing on some of the mistakes they're making. So again, I'm in my collar tie wrist. I'm moving him. I'm trying to see where he's going to make the mistake. I know when he leans back and lifts enough weight off of it, my foot can come through, hook his foot, and I can pull over top. Now, because you have a shoe on, you'll see I do different ways of sweeping. Sometimes I sweep like this. A lot of times I sweep with a hook. I kind of like hook around it. I like that too because I feel like it's pretty sticky, and it's tough for them to kind of step out of those. So that's from a collar tie and a wrist. You can also sweep if there's weight on the foot. I'll show you kind of one of the ways it will happen. If I have an underhook here and a wrist, and say my opponent has weight on their, step your left leg forward, yeah. Say they have weight on this left foot. So you're not just gonna be able to sweep it through like we just did, but what you could do is you could hook the foot and lift it. So I'm here, there's weight on that foot, but I still wanna foot sweep it. I'm gonna circle kind of hip to hip and get in this straight line. My right foot is gonna hook behind his heel. So I'm here, I know there's weight there, so I know I can't just sweep it through like normal. So I'm going to step my foot behind and hook. Once I hook, I'm just gonna use my leg to lift his leg off the mat and pull him down over top of the direction I just took the leg away. So if I take this leg away, I'm putting him down right back there. So I lift, up, 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 and just pull back. Okay? So this person's got a little more weight on that foot. Underhook position is a great position to use it from. Okay? I just step my right foot behind, I kind of push my shin into his calf as I start lifting it up and pulling down backwards. If, as I'm doing this, he lifts his leg up, we can go to a leg attack as well. So like as I do this, he may want to step out of it and I can go to drop. He may not feel comfortable. He's like, why is this guy hooking my leg? He might start stepping out. If he starts stepping out, I can drop down to a high single. So that's another great option. One more time with this one. We have our underhook. All right, we know this guy's got some weight on that lead foot. I circle hip to hip. I hook behind. My shin goes into his calf here, and I lift the leg up and pull him back. Now, this is a very sneaky way to hit this outside trip. It's when you know your partner's trying to foot sweep you. So you're wrestling somebody that loves foot sweeps, you can actually foot sweep them. This technique is very similar to people that play soccer where they kick the soccer ball up and then they circle their foot around and they catch it again. So that technique is essentially the same. If he comes through to foot sweep my foot and I go up and catch. So if I have good timing and I know he's been trying to foot sweep, I wait for that foot sweep to happen. Maybe I bait him by rolling my foot back, right? I bait him catch here and I can just bring him back down, back to his butt, all right? So obviously you need some good grips, but say you're in a tie-up here and he goes to foot sweep, I just lift like that and I roll it around and catch his. So we'll go slow. As he comes through, I'm just gonna lift it up, rotate it around, catch his ankle, lift it up, and pull him back down. So you know this guy's big into foot sweeps. You know, maybe you're baiting him here. He goes to sweep, I roll, catch, pull him back. And you see that foot hook is very common in wrestling. Like I like it a lot. I like obviously sweeping people through, but I like kind of catching underneath the back of their foot like that as well. Really nice way to get your foot sweeps. Let's do that one actually one more time. So we're here, he goes through, I lift and rotate. Lift up, like heel comes to my butt, and then I just stick it out and catch around, okay? It's really a great technique from the underhook position. So I do used to hit this from double underhooks. I get double underhooks on my opponent. My opponent maybe has his hips back a little bit, and I'm here, right? I'm trying to jack him up, trying to get a body lock maybe, but he's not giving me anything. All I'm gonna do is I'm going to take a big step around him. I like sweeping with my right foot, so my left foot would take a big step around him like this, okay, and I would try to circle him. So I'm here, I go here, big step. All right, and try to get him to circle. Now, when I go for the sweep, all I'm gonna do is take a big step, use my arms to circle him, and just stick my right foot out. And he's gonna get caught on that foot, and essentially, because my foot is stopping him from stepping forwards, he's gonna flip over top of that direction. So I'm here, I take a big step around, and I catch there, okay? And use your hands just like the steering wheels. Lift up with the side you're stepping around to, and down, not necessarily down, but you're kind of pulling him in a circle. So you're kind of just lifting, actually, you're lifting up with both almost. You're kind of pulling him up on top of you at this weird angle, up and across. So double underhooks, I'm here, look at my feet. I wanna sweep with my right foot, so big step around, pull, and look at my right leg is just gonna step out and trip his leg. You good? That was rough. Does yours hurt?
I'm good.
All right, one more time here. Double underhooks, big step around, catch out with my foot, and trip them down. This can also work from one underhook, but whatever side I have the underhook to, you normally trip to this side. So if I have an underhook with one arm, maybe a wrist here, I can take a big step around towards the side I have the wrist on, and then I would just pull him over top with my right arm and stick my right leg out. So we're here, big step, pull, and just catch him over top. Okay, show you guys that again. Maybe you just have one underhook and their wrist here, and I kind of push up with the wrist too. I know that doesn't do too much, but I push up and pull across with the right hand. Big step around on the wrist side, pull and trip on that side. Okay, one more time with this one. underhook wrist. I'm here, big step, and pull them right over top. Okay? Now you can combo this with DEASHI HARAI from the last technique. If I go and try to foot sweep, but he just circles, doesn't work, I could come through with DEASHI. So I'm here to underhook and a wrist. I try to trip him here. It doesn't work. He shuffles a little bit. And see that motion there? He's shuffling just like the drill we did across the mat. So that's why those drills work really well, because you'll get you the timing. You know, I come here and I pull and I get that shuffle there. Now, as he shuffles, that foot comes off the mat and I'm sweeping through and trying to hit this foot into this foot. All right, so I'm here. I go to sweep here and sweep through there. And I kind of leaned over a little bit. Definitely very technical moves, so it's hard to hit him slow. But I'm here, underhook wrist. I go for SASAE. He's gonna circle here. And as he shuffles, I'm sweeping through. Yeah. Sorry about that. They're like hard, it's like a hard video to do, all right? We're here, here. I go here, boom. And then like, I would hit on the second one. So it's gotta kind of be fast footwork. But I go here and sweep there. So the footwork's kind of fast because you're trying to catch him on that sweep. So you go to hit the SASAE, he steps. As this foot comes off the mat, I'm going for DEASHI HARAI. So one more time here. I'm here, I go here, and go there. Kind of fast, little boom, boom. Next thing I'm gonna go into is inside trips. For an inside trip, my favorite position by far to hit it from is an overhook. So if my partner has an underhook and starts standing up tall, I like to hit it from this position, okay? Now from here, I like to be on the side. So I'm kind of at an X with him, right? We're perpendicular to each other. My left leg is gonna go through and it's gonna wrap around. My knee is gonna be the first thing to hit the mat. So I'm here, step, my foot's off the mat, my knee is gonna be the first thing to hit the mat, and I'm turning and facing the same direction as him. So here, here. From here, I wanna drive him back to his butt by pushing off my right foot right here, driving him straight to there. Show you guys that one again. He's got an overhook on me. I'm going to this, I'm opening my hip here so my leg can come through. Come through, I slide down to here, normally a double leg, and just drive right through that. If he steps out, you'll be in a double leg. You can definitely finish that. We'll go here. My foot's coming through. My head goes the same side of this overhook, and I really capture that underhook. So I capture it. I'm here, capture down. I can body lock around a double, just fall right over. One more time with this. We'll go this angle. I come through, slide down. Capture that arm and just drive right through. Now, this can also be done from a Russian tie. I personally don't think this is as good as the overhook position because it's hard to get them to face you. Like, his head's in the way. So a lot of times, like, you're in this hip-to-hip position here. You go to kind of come through, but, like, this arm kind of gets caught, in my opinion. But it's still a great technique, though, and I've definitely done it before. So Russian tie, I'm just going to take my leg, go straight through, push this arm across to kind of get it out of the way, and drop into my inside trip. So here, I like pushing the Russian away and kind of going to a double leg takedown. I guess face this way, yep. Here, I'm just stepping through, dropping to that double, and driving over. One more angle for this. I'm here, Russian tie, big step in, don't touch anything but your knee, right? My foot's off the mat. Foot's off the mat, knee touches first, then I drive through and get the finish. The last foot sweep is gonna be KOUCHI. This is where you trip the inside of one of the foots. So it's similar to DEASHI. So DEASHI's on the outside, KOUCHI's on the inside of the foot. I personally see this technique done the most from an underhook position and using it to get ankle picks. So when I'm here, I go hip to hip, if they step this near leg backwards, all I need to do is, I'm perpendicular here, right? And that same thing as the inside trip. My near foot, my right foot is just gonna step and hook behind his right foot in this case, okay? So I'm in this underhook position. Maybe I try to single, he steps back, hook, okay? Now when you hook that foot, most of the time they're gonna try to step up and you'll catch an ankle pick. So I'm here in this underhook position, all right? I try to maybe go for a single, he steps back, I hook, and this hand's ready for an ankle pick because he's gonna start trying to step out and you'll be able to catch that foot and collect the takedown. This can also be done from the Russian tie. I covered this in the Russian tie video as well, but I'm here, he has that near leg back a little bit. I'm just gonna step in and hook the right foot. My left hand drops to the ankle pick and I just bump him right over. Show you guys a couple more angles of this so we can use this kouchi. Anytime we're wrestling here and we see that foot forward, I just hook, right? Just hook in and go for that ankle pick. Push him over with the opposite hand too. That right arm, push right over that foot, whether I have a Russian or an underhook. Again, I'm here. I like to do an uchimata to set it up as well. So I'll come in here and try to throw this. So I'm here, I step, try to do uchimata, and then just step back there and catch here. Again, with that one, I'm setting up with my uchimata, so I'm gonna step in, face the same direction that he's facing, sweep through, catch, push through, get the ankle pick. I've seen this technique used a lot to defend a Russian tie as well. So when my partner pulls a Russian tie, I'm just gonna essentially pull him into me to get that foot to step and hook that foot. So I'm here, as he goes, I'm gonna pull in, catch, and push back. So it's kind of weird, but I'm gonna resist a little bit so that foot steps forward, and then I'm gonna bump into him and go for that ankle pick, same kind of scenario. Especially if he already has that right leg forward. So he comes here, I'm just going right in as he goes. So I know this guy likes pulling a Russian, I catch right there. And I'm bumping him with my forearm. If you give him too much of the arm, say he was up here, higher up in that Russian tie, and you went for it, he might be able to take your back, and you might not be in good position. So your elbow being circle this way, your elbow being up where his chest is prevents him from kind of coming behind you. So as he pulls it, you get that elbow in his chest, in his armpit, and you bump into him with it and catch that ankle pick. Pick it up, you can sweep it. Sometimes you'll just drive him straight over it for that finish as well. So I'm here, he starts pulling, I catch in, bump in, lift, right? Just bring it back in camera view. Hook. Cover on top. So let's go kind of slow with this one because I think we're going a little too fast. So here, I just, elbow sticks out to his armpit, foot hooks behind, push into him with your elbow as your free hand drops to that ankle. Okay? Hopefully that was slow enough for you guys. Now I have seen this from the collar tie, inside tie position as well. Not very frequent. I've seen it at, I think Jason Morris hits this. He comes from here, that foot's forward, and he just goes here and pushes them right over top of, I'll try to explain something real quick for you guys. When you do trips, people think of it like a triangle. So here's what I mean. If his feet are two corners of the triangle, you want to push them to the third point, which would be right here. So 1, 2, third point's right there. So when I do these, even inside trips or whatever, kouchi, I catch here, I'm pushing him back over top of that direction right there, okay? I like to set this technique up by pulling that foot forwards. So I'm collar tie, inside tie. I'm gonna circle and put as much weight on that foot as possible. So I'm gonna, similar like I'm setting up an ankle pick. So I circle here and then catch. And then I'm just gonna essentially push him back over the top. And if he's tries to step out, we just go for ankle pick. So I'm hooking the foot. A lot of athletic guys are just gonna be able to step out, but they're gonna be in that crunched position here, and you'll be able to catch the ankle picks. So collar tie, inside tie, I'm getting this foot to step, putting a lot of weight on that foot, and then I'm coming for this foot here. My foot hooks behind. If he tries to step out, we can just push and drop to that ankle pick position. So I really like to use the KOUCHIs to set up my ankle picks. Again, we've got underhook here. We've got Russian here. We can go from collar tie wrist here. Then I'm dropping right to that ankle pick as he steps out. Steve Mako, he'll kick the leg. So he'll straight up go like this and just kick the ankle and then snap the guy down to the mat. All right, that's all I got for foot sweeps. Just start messing around with it. It's all about timing. So do those drills, spend time trying to hit it, and you're gonna surprise a lot of people. A lot of people are not ready to get foot sweeped, so definitely try to add it to your arsenal, and I'll see you guys in the next video.